Can we make a difference?
Many people think this. They say, what's the point of doing anything because, you know, it's so big, the problem, what can I do? There you go. But what I respond to that is this: if you look through history, yes, there have been mass movements, but in pretty much every case, those mass movements were triggered by one individual. I've just been reading about the First World War, and reading about Trotsky and Lenin, and individuals, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, people who brought incredible transformation in the way that we live life and got huge mass movements going behind them, but were individuals. So everything major is really only done by individuals, and that there is something in human beings beyond how they characterize themselves, and we characterize ourselves in a certain way, and that very often hides the part of us, the greatness in us, that is the one we have to be to bring about fantastic transformation. I've done a little bit of activism myself, and I've seen people, quite ordinary people, who recognize an injustice, whether it be to the land, to other people, or whatever, and they get motivated and they choose to make a difference. They choose to do something about it. And when they step into that choice, it brings about a transformation in them, and they become great, and their will prevails. That's what's incredible. Their will prevails. Not in every case, not all the time, but their will prevails. Because their will is coming from a different place. Their actions are coming from a different place. The other thing is this, that the difference that you make when you take action on behalf of others, on behalf of the future, on behalf of the land, it's not always measurable. Not every act is measurable, the effect that it has. Some things have to be done because they need to be done, not to gain some measurable results. And all these little actions create an effect. People say, oh, you know, don't sign petitions. Yes, sign petitions. Tiny little acts, hundreds of thousands of tiny little acts. Whether or not a government will take notice of it, doesn't matter. You did something, and other people saw you do it. We all saw the numbers. So it empowers us in that way. Nothing's too small to do, and nothing's too big to do. And it's amazing who can do what. It all depends where you're coming from. I've also seen in the activism that I've been involved in, people who think that they're leaders, that they're the one, and they go charging off and make a mess. Just cause trouble, lead everybody out of the flow down some cul-de-sac. So it's all about being who you're being. When a human being is being great, there is literally nothing they cannot do. I mean, you think about Nelson Mandela. Was Nelson Mandela a uniquely great person? Did he have something different to you or me? You see, if you go, yes, he did, then what you do is you allow yourself just to stay in front of the TV, on Facebook, whatever. Because, you know, Nelson Mandela had something, I don't know what he had that I didn't have, but I know I haven't got it. But actually, what he would say, and what he did say, was that there's nothing I've got you haven't got. I just chose to investigate and to manifest what it is I've got. I saw something was wrong, and I wouldn't let it go. 29 years it was that he was imprisoned just because he wouldn't relinquish the idea that apartheid was wrong. And that's what is being called out of us now. In my view, the world is in a very, very bad shape. That there are all kinds of momentums that are rolling on into, that if we follow them, they won't take us where we want to go. And the only antidote to this is us. God's not coming, and we should act as if God isn't coming, that there isn't going to be a Messiah to save the day. That's how we should act. It's us. We got ourselves in this mess. We've got to get ourselves out of this mess. And how do we do it? We do it by responding to the call within and taking action and being great. Doing what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. Doing stuff even when we don't feel like it. Doing stuff because it has to be done. Putting our arse on the line. Putting our boots on the ground. Putting our fingers on the like button. Whatever it takes. Listening, feeling, moving, acting. Everybody has got something to contribute to this. And really, that's what the way I see it is, I don't see how we can bring about this change that needs to happen in the direction that everything's going without everybody coming together and doing stuff. And maybe that is what's happening. So, whether or not others will ever know that you made a difference isn't the point. And maybe you won't ever actually see the difference that you make. But believe that everything you do to increase the benefit and welfare of others, everything you do to protect the planet, everything you do to generate peace is good and makes a difference and helps to push the great wheel of positive transformation to bring about a world that we know is possible. We know another way is possible. You know another way is possible. And actually it's not that far away. So yes, you can make a difference. I can make a difference. And at least we must act as if we can.